Hello. Okay, so I am going to get into why I will never do an outdoor festival again. Um, Now, I had done a video sometime in the past after I did the Black Girl Art Show in Brooklyn. Now, mind you, that was an indoor festival. It was at the Naval Yard, downtown Brooklyn. And it was my most successful show to date. I sold 9 hats. That was wonderful. I was on cloud nine. Okay. Now, this is my second outdoor event. I had done Juneteenth last summer, but it was in more of a suburban rural area. And this one was in Jersey City. It was more urban, and it was, more concentration of people at this one. So it was hosted by All About Us and Jersey Creators Market. And I had been following Jersey Creators Market, and they usually do indoor markets, and I had wanted to vend with them, but this was an outdoor event, and I said, why not? Let's go for it. Okay, so I'm gonna first go over what I learned from the last show that I actually did. So I had, remember I was saying I didn't have something for their heads to protect my hats. Boy, did I need it this show, because it was outdoor. People were sweating profusely. I didn't want them trying on my hats with my sweatbands and satin liners. So I brought these, and they put it on, and then they put on the hat, because this, nothing is coming through this. This is not porous. So if you're sweating, it holds it. So they would put this on and then try on the hat. This is similar to when you go to a shoe store and they hand you those little footsie stockings for you to put on before you try on a shoe. Same concept before the head. So I'm also going to carry this in my shop, the hat shop side, and have people put this on before they try on a hat. Especially now that we have straw hats and people are coming out from hot weather trying on hats, possibly. Okay. I also created my little postcards, and like I had mentioned, on one side of the postcard it had customer name, their head size, and all that. I would have it all there in case somebody wanted a custom job done. Okay. So I was all prepared, all planned. I was learning from my last event. I was like, oh, we are ready for this, right? Now, mind you, I looked at the weather and it said rain. This was early in the week. I had emailed those putting on the event, and I said, is there a rain date? They said, nope, we're out there rain and shine, plus they're expecting only scattered showers. I'm like, okay. So now today is the day of the event. I'm excited. I'm setting up, and actually I set up yesterday, Wednesday, the tent and everything, so that it just wouldn't be too crazy on the day of the event. And then today I just brought my hats and set up my hats. My tent and tables were already set up. Okay. So I set up everything, and I made a nice friend, neighbor next to me. She was selling candles. She was so sweet. And we would watch each other's stuff when we had to step away. Okay. Well, the clouds started looking gray and dark. Like, not gray like a light gray, like a charcoal gray. Like, you look at it and you go, that looks like heavy rain type of gray clouds, right? So my booth neighbor, she was like, she said, I still have on my tag, my vendor tag. She said, She says, you know what? My girlfriend just texted me and she said that we're supposed to get high winds. I said, ooh, that's not good. Well, the rain starts, and everybody who has a tent, and we all had tents, start moving their products to the center of the tent so the rain wouldn't shoot down, because most of us had our items around the edge of the tent, right? So that with the flow of traffic, it's just easier for people to shop, see what you have. So that worked because it did go away quickly, and the sun came out like nothing ever happened, and we pushed our tables back to the edge of the tents, and everything dried up. Like I have boxes that got a little wet, they dried. The tarp I kind of had on the floor, that dried. The tablecloth that got a little wet, that dried. Okay. No love lost for the rain. Well, about an hour later, gray clouds came again. Scattered showers again. Okay, we knew what to do. Moved quickly. Okay. We knew the song and dance by now. All right, now here comes the third time after about another hour. This time the winds were torrential. Like the downpour was torrential and the winds were not playing with anybody. And this event took place in a park. So there was all this space, right? So the winds were going crazy with us. And I'm going to show you a video of the tent that flipped over. And let me tell you, at first I was like, oh, maybe they didn't have anchors in the legs of their tent to keep the tent solid. Well, I had anchors, and guess what? My anchors started rising up. So one of my anchors actually came out. So that's just how crazy the wind was. And I was like, oh, this is not good. And they said they expected like 4,000 to 5,000 people because they had a music stage where the R&B singer Mario and and Jadakiss were the main performers. And Jersey loves their house. So we had the house performers Robin S. and another gentleman, Kenneth, I forget his last name, but I love his music, and you would know it if you heard it too, especially if you love house. So, we're expecting this to be a really big event. Well, after the third downpour, there were puddles and pools everywhere. People were walking with their pants legs up. They were pulling them up. I was like, this is horrible. But before I continue, let me show you briefly the video. So watch this. Okay. Now, if you think that was bad, it wasn't as bad as, why did they have a porta potty? They had a row of porta potties, and about 2 of them flipped over. 2 of them flipped over. Ugh. I mean, if I was in one of them porta potties and one of them things flipped over on me, I would have been dead. I would have been lights out. Because I would be like, all those germs on me, I'm probably going to die. I'm probably going to die of all those germs. Those blue germs that are on me. They put that blue liquid in there. So, that's how bad the winds were. Well, after the third downpour, it was a wrap. everybody started packing up. And mind you, we had at least 4 to 6 hours to go. Yeah, about 4 to 6 hours to go. It was over at 8. This happened around 2 or 3, I guess. Okay. And then they started walking around, some of the people who were at the event. They weren't marked in any clothes. They just looked like regular people somehow. They didn't look like, they should have t-shirts that identified them. But one gentleman came by and he says, now mind you, there were little pools and puddles of water in the grass. So now how you expect people to even walk through when you have people holding up their pants legs just trying to walk? My sneakers completely drenched. So the gentleman had said, who's, I don't know if who he was with, the park or one of the 2 sponsoring hosts. He says, oh, well, the concert's still going to go on. Mario and Jadakiss are still going to go on at like 6 and 7 o'clock. They're the mainstays, so people are still coming and they're going to stay for that. So don't worry, you're going to have people that are going to come by and that are going to buy. Wasn't nobody coming by. No. People were running for cover. People were, they were not in the mood to shop amidst in the middle of ponds and overturned tents. That tent that turned over, it was non-repairable. It was broken. I mean, and they left it there. They took all their stuff and left the tent flipped over. And I thought to myself, I said, you know what? This doesn't make sense that they didn't have a rain date, because they just wanted to make their money, right? It didn't make sense because, especially if we're in the grass, I mean, and then I said, you know what? I wouldn't do another outdoor event, not just because we have bad weather, but because they didn't have a rain date. And then when I thought about it deeply enough, I said, guess what? Even a rain date wouldn't be good, because remember, this is my side job. This is my second love. I'm a hairstylist. I do hair. So I have people that pre-book their appointments. So what if the rain date, okay, is another date, but I'm already booked up with my clients on that date? So then there could be a conflict of interest there. So even a rain date technically wouldn't work for me. So I'm like, you know what? If I do this again, I'm only doing an indoor event. I'm not playing with the outdoors again. And if they have a rain date or don't have a rain date, to me, you are taking such a big gamble, such a big risk, Russian roulette type risk. It's like, is it worth it? So not only did I lose money for closing down my shop, I lost money because I paid to be a vendor. I paid money for additional supplies, that tarp that I put on the grass that they recommended, because they were like, the grounds might get wet. Oh no, the grounds didn't get wet. They got drowned. Okay? It was a tsunami for that grass. And I would only do another indoor event if I had help. It's almost impossible, people, if you are by yourself, to do an event set up. I mean, sure, if you're going to fork out a lot of money, if you're going to call Angie's List and have somebody come there and set you up, you're going to pay tons of money, but then is it going to be worth it? Like my sister in Atlanta. She's like, come down, I'll help you. Great. I would have her and my brother-in-law, they could help me. I'm sure my brother-in-law might drop us off or help us load or unload or whatever. And then my sister would be there with me at the table to help with the traffic, help with payments, help with, getting people's information in terms of customization. Then it would work. Because there is a hat company who is exhibiting at the Essence Fest in New Orleans. They have a whole team. Teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah, now I get it. To do this by yourself with tents flipping over and porta potties flipping over, and you got to now unload your stuff through puddles of, come on now, this is for the birds. So I have to rethink my plan. I have to rethink what it is and how it is I'm going to do grassroots and make it work. Number one, indoor events. Number two, have help. Otherwise, start another game plan, and I will have to brainstorm on that. I'm not going to give up in terms of how I reach people with my creations. And the other thing I forgot to mention, this is what the rain did. My hats got wet, and then when I put them in the box, this was a bucket hat. It used to be a bucket hat. Thank goodness I know how to repair. Hats because I make them. But look at all the time I'm going to have to do into bringing these hats back to life again. So they're soaking wet. So I'm going to have to, re-steam them, re-block them, and re-stiffen them to give them their form back. So yeah, we have to find a solution, and we will find a solution, and we will find a better way, because I'm made from strong cloth. I don't give up easily. Almost everything I've done in my life, I've taken a risk on. I've gambled on myself. I've betted on myself. So I'm going to continue to bet on myself and come up with a way that's going to work best for the sake of putting my name out there, putting my creation, my products out there in a way that could potentially, balance investment with cost effectiveness, not just throwing money away. But it's the risk you take. It's the gamble you just take. I gambled and I risked on myself today. The house won, as they say. But next time, Rita is going to win. Believe me on that. All right, guys. I hope this was a little bit helpful. But as soon as I came in the house, I haven't even eaten dinner yet. I was like, I haven't even started working on my hats yet. I'm going to get to that another day. I can't do it today. I'll get to it. But let me tell you something. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But yeah, I need to get in here and tell you guys while it was freshly on my mind. And also doing this video just helps me relieve some of the anxiety and the stress and the disappointment, frustration, all of that happened today. So you guys you're helping me what do they say? Not detox, deflate, you know, decompress, you know. So, all right. Till next week, till some more creations. Yeah. Have a good one, guys.